Marrying my childhood sweetheart after 16 years of being together was a dream come true. But on our wedding day, my fiancé ran off with his secretary, wearing the wedding gown I had painstakingly designed. Heartbroken, his brother took me to the marriage bureau, and we got married instead. When I returned to the wedding venue, the setting I had spent 2 months arranging was dismantled, with flowers scattered all over the floor. My childhood fiancé, holding hands with the secretary, was throwing a wild party with all the guests. I won the bet. That fool came back again, someone shouted. So easy to deceive, Chinmo, your little project is quite entertaining, another added. Next to me, my fiancé's brother eagerly announced to the crowd. I casually tricked her, and she registered a fake marriage with me. I stood there, stunned, watching as 2 men surrounded that female secretary, laughing joyfully. Under the manipulation of my childhood sweetheart and his secretary, I had become the evening's entertainment. I dialed a number on my phone. Mr. Griffin, about the marriage proposal you mentioned before, I agree. No problem, I'll start preparing the wedding arrangements immediately. His response was almost instantaneous, a courtesy I hadn't received from Chin Mo or Chin Chuan since that secretary appeared. A call came through. I hesitated, wanting to say there was no need for elaborate arrangements, just registering would suffice. After all, we weren't closely acquainted. Before I could speak, he continued. Dahlia, I'm very happy. My heart raced, and in a fluster, I hung up. The next moment, someone pushed me from behind, nearly causing me to fall. I turned to see Chin Chuan, with Secretary Eloise Bennett clinging to his arm. Dahlia, you know I'm against marriage, just curious about the feeling. I didn't expect Chin Mo and Chin Chuan to, sorry. I remained silent, but Chin Chuan suddenly slapped my phone out of my hand. Are you deaf? Is this how the Carter family raised you? Eloise is innocent. Why are you so petty, not even saying a word? My fiancé Chin Mo quickly approached, shielding Eloise behind him. The three of them seemed so harmonious, while I, the fiancé, appeared as the intruder. The guests, friends of the Carter family, whispered and mocked me. Look at her, did she really think she was the bride today? This party was specially prepared by the Carter brothers for Eloise. I heard she wanted to marry the younger brother after the older one ran away. Young Master Chin Chuan is really indulging her, even accepting this woman. My childhood sweethearts were doting on Eloise, leaving me behind. I glanced around, noticing how the romantic scenes I meticulously arranged were utterly destroyed. The flowers I carefully placed were thrown on the ground, crushed into petals. Even this entire farce was designed to please Eloise. My fingers trembled uncontrollably. Eloise seemed to notice my distress, her eyes reddened, and she lowered her head, saying softly, Dahlia, I'm sorry. I suggested giving you a surprise, never thought it would turn out like this. I really didn't know the wedding dress was yours, I just thought it was beautiful. It's all my fault, don't blame others. Chin Mo squeezed Eloise's hand tight, glaring at me. Can't you be less petty? You're a wedding dress designer, haven't you seen worse? Chin Chuan was even more furious, grabbing my wrist and pushing me in front of Eloise. Dahlia, Eloise is just a kid, how can you treat her like this? Stop acting pitiful and apologize. I stood firm despite the pain, slowly removed the ring I designed myself. Chin Mo's face turned ugly. He instinctively covered his hand, where I previously placed a handmade wedding ring, now replaced with a matching one with Eloise. I spoke calmly. You're right, let's enjoy today. They looked at me in shock, not believing I'd give in so easily. In the past, I would always quarrel with them over Eloise. But not this time. I decisively tossed the ring into the air. Let's break up. Chin Mo's face darkened. I smiled slightly. Engagement's off. You're single, aren't you? Chin Chuan couldn't hold back anymore. Frowning, are you crazy? You won't accept Eloise's surprise, and you want to marry someone outside the Carter family? Who else would want you besides us? My heart ached, but I kept smiling. I smiled slightly, tearing the fake marriage certificate into pieces and throwing it at Chin Chuan. You wanted to please Eloise, right? You should experience it properly. Chin Chuan's eyes widened, grabbing my wrist tightly. How dare you? The pain was clear, but I was numb. I responded faintly, why wouldn't I dare? Chin Chuan's face turned blue, throwing the pieces back at me. Enough. Dahlia. Chin Mo frowned, approaching me with impatience in his voice. Our wedding is coming up. If you dare embarrass me in front of everyone, I'll cancel it. I laughed at his words. The old me might have begged for their forgiveness. Losing my parents left me without protection. Grandpa resented me and refused to take responsibility. After that, the Carter family took me in. I experienced the feeling of living under someone else's roof, feeling inferior and insecure. Facing my childhood sweethearts, I habitually lowered my head, regardless of right or wrong. They cherished me, vowing I'd never suffer. Time passed, and Chin Mo and I developed feelings for each other. Chin Chuan was furious at first but eventually accepted it. However, things changed. After Chin's parents divorced, I became an unwanted presence, forgotten in a corner. The wedding I eagerly anticipated became a laughingstock. Guests whispered, mocking me, dump this gold digger, let her know what she is. My childhood sweethearts stood tall, waiting for me to submit, with no warmth in their eyes. I sneered, may you three grow old together and have children soon. The room fell silent. Chin Chuan, enraged, grabbed my arm. He squeezed with such force, it felt like he wanted to crush my bones. Dahlia, what do you mean? Why slander Eloise? Didn't realize you were so vicious. But they all knew. This was my wedding, where I poured my heart and soul. Why be hostile to me for someone else? Why changed? Why abandon me again? I was in excruciating pain, tears welling up, staring at him, and he suddenly froze. I took the chance to break free, walking briskly away. Chin Chuan instinctively tried to stop me, but Chin Mo's calm voice halted him. Let her leave. She's an orphan with nothing to her name without the Carter family. Chin Chuan stopped, yelling after me. Feeding you was worse than raising a dog. I silently shed a tear, his curses fading as I left the banquet's chaos. Checking my phone, I saw a new message. I'm at the banquet entrance to pick you up. Call if you can't find the car. I walked to the roadside car, where Callum sat. Before he could greet me, I spoke. Let's register the marriage. He widened his eyes in surprise. Now.